Welcome to A Seat at the Table. Today, joining me at the table is Andrea Zopp, who is currently the managing partner, Cleveland Avenue project in Chicago. The Cast Us project is currently been funded with $70 million to reinvest into the community of the Southside, the West Side of Chicago. Thank you for joining me today, Ms. Zopp.
So thanks, Tigner. Thanks so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Let me just talk a little bit first about Cleveland Avenue and then about Cast Us. So Cleveland Avenue is a venture capital investment firm started by Don Thompson along with his wife Liz. Don, who some of your listeners may know or watchers may know, is the former CEO of McDonald's. And so about 6 years ago, they started an investment firm called Cleveland Avenue. And they are with a real focus on their initial focus was on food and beverage. They raised a large over $100 million fund and made a number of investments in companies that have done very, very well, including Beyond Meat was one of their major investments. They've also started a second fund called Cleveland Avenue Food and Beverage 2, which is actually larger. And those funds are focused on, as I said, food and beverage and technology. But Don and Liz have always been committed to giving back and committed to the community. They also started a foundation called the Cleveland Avenue Foundation that focuses on education and expanding access and opportunities for students of color and for making sure that they have college access and they have college success and then success after college. But as I said, they really were focused not just on their businesses, but also on investing in the community. And so since last year, they've been thinking about, and Don in particular, been thinking about how do we, recognizing that there are huge disparities for Black, Latinx, and women entrepreneurs in terms of their access to capital. Just to give you some data around that, Black and Latinx entrepreneurs have about 80% of their capital needs. So in other words, 80% of what for businesses that could use capital to grow their businesses, those needs go unmet. And that's compared to about 46%. So it's almost double that of white entrepreneurs. Black entrepreneurs get less than 1% of available capital, equity and venture capital. So they really wanted to fix that. And the truth is without access to capital, it's really very difficult to grow your business. And one of the other kind of principles around Cleveland Avenue and their investing strategy is providing wraparound support for their entrepreneurs. So they provide marketing and financial and supply chain analysis for their entrepreneurs, because the idea is really to grow the businesses and really provide them with what they need in addition to capital to make that happen. So as I said, they started thinking about what about do we do about this disparity in access to capital, and they started talking to the Secretary of State's office here in Illinois, who has a large investment fund that they've been deploying to support minority entrepreneurs. And our treasurer, Michael Frericks, who I think you're going to be talking to, really is committed to that idea. And his head of investment, Rodrigo Garcia, spent a lot of time talking to Don, and they were the initial investors in the fund, the initial partners. And then we brought in also MacArthur came in, and the Walter family, and several others, BMO Harris Bank, Bank of America, and several family foundations here. And the end result is $70 million that we now have to invest in Black, Latinx, and women-led businesses. We're focusing on Chicago, the South and West Side. That's our primary focus. We hope to have 75% of our businesses located in those areas, but that's not our only focus. And we are a growth fund, and so the fund is focused on companies that have been operating for some period of time, that have revenues, because we're looking to build sustainable businesses that will create wealth for their founders, create good jobs for their employees, and build and bring money back into community. So instead of, it happens so often, we get investment in our community, but the money then goes, the returns out of that investment go out of the community. It's not sustainable for the community. We're looking to build businesses that will build that virtuous cycle of dollars that will then stay in the communities and then can be used to help those communities grow.
That's a very good point. So why the south side and the west side of Chicago? Why was so important that when Don decided to, with this initiative, that the Cleveland Avenue project had to start out on the south side and the west side?
Well, so Don is from Chicago. He admits, and in fact, Cleveland Avenue is a street on our near north side where the Cabrini Green projects used to be. And both Don and Liz grew up on Cleveland Avenue. They didn't know each other when they were growing up. They met actually at Purdue, but it was an important part of their life. And that, and so, this is that idea where you don't forget where you came from. And neither of them ever has. And so there's a real recognition that we have real opportunity here. We have incredible entrepreneurs here, but we have communities, neighborhoods on our south and west side that have been underinvested in, and that if we can help businesses grow there, we can help them build sustainable growth in the neighborhood in addition to these businesses. And so I think the focus is on Chicago because we want to have, we want to kind of be a, what's the word I want, a catalyst for change and growth in where we come from.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So with the city, with the project, are there any prerequisites that you will be looking for these businesses to be able to take part into the Cast Us program?
So I would say the main thing really is that we're not an angel or a seed fund. We are a growth fund, and we are looking for businesses that have some operating history. The sweet spot would be 2 to 3 years, but we have invested in companies that are younger than that, so that's not a bar. But really, we are looking for companies that have a little bit of a track record, and so that we can put money behind their growth as opposed to startups. So that would be the main piece. We're hoping for companies with about a minimum of $100,000 in annual revenue. And we also are, as I said, we're trying to get companies that are 75% in the south and west sides of Chicago. We do not have a preference on sector. So whereas the other Cleveland Avenue funds are focused on food and beverage and related adjacent technologies, we are not. We have made 6 investments so far, and we have some food companies, but we also have some tech companies, and so we are not just in that space, and we won't be just in that space. We're really looking for great entrepreneurs in Black and Latinx and women entrepreneurs who have been who've just simply been underinvested in.
Understand. So with the growth fund, what are the measurables? So it's once the relationship investment starts, how much time do you kind of look to foresee per each business to try to see where that growth starts, where you really see the investment to grow and say it was sustainable, it looks good for us, and it was a great investment? Yeah,
well, we're looking, we don't have a definitive, it has to be 1 year or 2 year. We are, looking, we understand these businesses need time to grow. And as one of the other factors that I don't think I touched on about from Cleveland Avenue in terms of what they've done in the past and that we're hoping that we will be doing for our entrepreneurs is they provide a lot of support. So access, introductions to potential markets and companies that might be sources for their or buyers of their services or their product. Some help, support. We have a whole range of consultants and business people who can help with supply chain, with building a business plan and assessing your financial models. And so we're looking to provide that level of support for our businesses. So I don't think that we have a definitive, it has to come out at this time. That said, we are an investment fund. And, I say when I talk about the fund and what we're trying to do, this is not philanthropy. This is business.
Exactly.
And we are investing in businesses and trying to grow businesses and hoping to make that happen down the road. So we have expectations that, we will be making investments in businesses that we think have the potential to grow. And helping them do that. But this is business.
It's business. This is business, exactly. So you want to see them grow and make good investment on the return on the investment, but also uplift and grow the community as well.
Absolutely. And I think, too often, we get a little piece of the pie because people think like, well, we're just gonna give you this little piece of the pie and pat you on the head and send you off. But we're, right, because, and they say like, well, we just did good because we gave some money to Black and brown people. And we're not looking, that's not what this is about. This is experienced business people investing in talented entrepreneurs to help them have access to the financial resources and other resources that lots of majority-owned businesses have and get to be successful. And that's why, and so I think it's really important that everybody understand that we are really, and the fact is that too often we have so many businesses that are incredible businesses that if they had that, the access to the capital and that extra support and somebody else to open the door or make an introduction and stand by them, they can grow their businesses and really become sustainable so that we're not, too often we're always like, one cycle, one quarter away, we are like the MacGyver of business. I have worked with so many businesses. We are like the MacGyver of they putting people to get things together. They're getting money from here and they make it work. But we want people to not have to struggle. We want them to be able to use their strategic brain, their talent, their creativity, their innovation to really build and grow their businesses and to know that they've got support to make that happen. Because we think when you can do that, we're gonna unleash incredible potential with our Black and brown and women entrepreneurs. So we're super excited about it because we're going to be doing things that a lot of companies, majority companies have, and they get almost automatically. And for us, it's always a struggle. If you look at the VC world, there are very few women. There are very few people of color. 65% of venture capital firms have no women partners. 81% have no Black partners. So we're not at the table when people are making decisions about, is this a good investment? And we have a different perspective. Investing is risk. It's a risk-based business. We understand that, but we also understand that what we look at Black and brown entrepreneurs differently when we're thinking about risk, and we understand. So we're super excited about bringing that perspective to the venture capital table.
You made a good point about a seat at the table, where so many of Blacks, Latino, people of color always fall short. Internally for us, how diverse is the overall, the body? I mean, how diverse is the overall body of CAS here?
It's one of the things that we're thrilled about. Cleveland Avenue is an African American led company, but we have a very diverse team. We have African American. My head of portfolio is African American. The portfolio support that we have from Cleveland Ave is African American. We also have a diverse team. We have women, we have Latinos, we have people, we have majority people, and so it's a diverse team. And that's, anybody will tell you that a diverse team is going to make better decisions. And the other thing is that we have people who are really experienced in the areas that we're looking at, as I said, with supply chain or marketing and communications, strategy, business plan development, your resources. So a whole range of support, legal support analysis that we can point people to. So we can help people as they think through, I know this is working, but I know I need to do X, but I don't have experience doing X. We can help them think that through. Product development, so we have, and that's really, I think, the point, the other point, that we're providing these resources. So very diverse team, very talented team with a lot of depth of experience.
I love that. I love it. One area that I've noticed from the various conversations that we've had within Rolling Out, as well as talking with, financial institutions, a lot of small business or business owners who have great skills, great product, know how to run their business well, but they don't know how to fill out the paperwork. Is that an area that the team is able to at least kind of coach to make sure? Because sometimes it just comes down to not completing that application just to be able to qualify for the fund, but yet they can sustain themselves and do the business, but just don't know how to complete the paperwork.
Absolutely. We have an incredible finance team that can provide support, but also helping entrepreneurs get to that level where they do understand their financials, right? You have to understand your financials and be able to, understand them and explain them to others when you're asking other people for money, right? So absolutely, we have that. And so we can help them think that through. We have HR support. So if you're thinking through, I need capacity, I need people capacity. We have, people who can help you think that through. What's the next best talent that you need to bring in, and how can we help you start identifying that talent? So we can do that as well.
Outstanding, and that's so important. For those business entrepreneurs, if they're interested in the fund, who would they contact? What's the first step to get involved?
Right. So we have Cleveland Avenue as a website. They can find us online at clevelandavenue.com. And there's a Cast Us page. Right now, there's just a little bit of information about the fund and how we're setting it up. There'll be more information coming and about how to engage the fund at the end of the month. We're still working through some of those processes, but and so right now we're just trying to get the word out that the fund is there, that the money is coming. So they can go and get some initial information both about Cleveland Avenue and about Cast Us now, and that they should come back towards the end of the month, and there'll be more information about how to engage with Cast Us and the fund.
Oh, I love it. Love it. So how did you get involved with the program, the fund?
So it's a great question. So I came to Cleveland Avenue I was the president and CEO of an organization called World Business Chicago, which is the city of Chicago's economic development organization. We recruited companies to come to Chicago, helped companies that were here expand, and also promoted the city internationally. We also had a pretty significant neighborhood economic development focus. So we focused not just on growing the central business district and recruiting companies there, but also getting companies and businesses in our neighborhoods and in communities, particularly on our south and west sides. And we also focus a lot on small businesses because that's really the backbone of economic development at the community level. Before that, I was the deputy mayor in Chicago for neighborhood and community development. And before that, I ran the Urban League here. So I have over a decade of experience on community development, economic development, small business support. It's my passion. Expanding economic opportunity, particularly in the Black and Brown community, has been a passion of mine for a while. And Don and Liz have been friends for a long time. So when Don shared with me his vision for the fund and what he was hoping to do, I was like, oh, I could do that. So I talked him into hiring me. So for me, it really is kind of a dream come true in terms of a dream job. As I said, I've been working with entrepreneurs, helping them to find resources, pointing them in the direction of other funds, encouraging larger institutions to think about funding smaller businesses and creating those opportunities. And so now to be able to actually have resources that you can put behind small businesses, really to getting there and to be able to do that at an outstanding firm like Cleveland Avenue with incredible business people of the caliber that we have here and leaders like Don and Liz Thompson is literally, it's a dream job and a dream opportunity. So it is, as I like to say, as we all like to say, God is good. And so I feel very blessed, and I'm just, ecstatically excited about what I think we're going to be able to do with this fund.
I hear the passion. I hear the passion, and it's always good to have that job that you really love to do.
Yeah.
I know that the project fund is really just amping up and getting ready to do great things. But are there any forecasts of what the vision is 3 years, 5 years down the line? Do you see this expanding, or has that been a conversation yet?
Well, a little bit. I mean, and I'll put it in two buckets. First is just in terms of the vision. I think what we hope to be able to do is to show a model that can be replicated in other places. What we would love to see is cast us equivalent funds in cities around the country. We would love to see public-private partnerships. As I said earlier, we are, the Secretary of State's a big funder, significant partner, lead partner and investor in the fund. And we think having that public-private partnership to do this work, but with individuals who have experience working with Black and Brown entrepreneurs is a model that can be recreated. So we would love to see that happen in other cities. We also want to see the businesses we're investing in grow and continue to create jobs. We have invested in 6 companies already. They're amazing. We have a company called Whole and Free Foods that sells foods under the Everybody Eat label, and they have snack crackers and crisp breads, and they're doing some other products, but their foods have none of the 14 major food allergens. They're food allergen free and no gluten.
Wow.
And they're the minute you say that, you're like, well, you're right, exactly. The minute you say that, you're like, well, that can't taste good. Let me tell you, they're amazing. They have a crisp bread that they're just coming out with that's like addictive. It is amazing, and it tastes great. The first thing you think isn't, oh, this doesn't have stuff. You think this is delicious. So they're great. They're in several food chains here in Chicago. And we have another food company called IO Food that does West African frozen food. So, typically the only way you can get West African food is you have to go to a West African restaurant. Well, now you can get it in your grocery, in the frozen food section, and it's amazing. They have jollof rice and some other products that are really incredible. And so it's called AO Foods. It's really a great product. We have a couple tech companies. We have a data analytics company called Gray Matters that does data analytics in the healthcare space. We have a company that's called DrugView that's creating a platform to connect drug trials with Black and Brown people to participate, which is a huge issue in the healthcare industry. Many of the drugs that are created in trials don't have Black and Brown participants in those trials. And as a result, when we get them, they react differently, and it's a real issue. And so for getting the right kinds of drugs and treatments for issues that impact us. And so, so we've got that company. We've got a company called Lift Up that's a services company creating good paying jobs for people and wraparound services for individuals so they can build wealth, their employees can build wealth. And then we have a company called 86 Repairs that supports restaurateurs and helps them better connect with services companies for their equipment so that they don't have to shut down when the oven goes off. So, really exciting companies adding real value, but a broad range. And so, yes. I said earlier, we are sector agnostic. So we really don't care what we do. What we care is that it's a company that is positioned to grow.
Right. Makes sense and it grows. Yeah, that's just from the ones you named, that's very diverse portfolio
Yeah.
of investment. And if I heard you correct earlier, so with that diversity, that means that there's someone on the team that can mesh up with them to help in certain areas
Right.
to make sure that it can grow and be sustainable the way that you want it to. And I heard you with
Right.
the medical research, and you had West African foods and tech company. That's
Right. Between our Cast Us team and the Cleveland Avenue team, we have a broad range of contacts and individuals who can make contacts and help open doors for these companies. And as I said, a broad range of business experience to help them think through their products, their supply chain, their strategies, et cetera.
wow. So, with all that's been said, what would be the three things would be the best takeaway if you was if you was to talk to the audience? What three things would be most they need to glean from this conversation?
So I would say first, it's a great time. The conversation around Black and brown and women entrepreneurs is really changing in the last, really since last summer. And that's great. There are dollars coming into the space in a wide variety of ways. And I think that's a great thing. So I think if you have a business and you're looking to grow your business, the opportunity is there, and you should jump on it. You can be a real force for growth, and you can build wealth, build a strong business for yourself and for your own family. So the now is a really great time. So that's one. But it's a business. So that's number two, right? This is, anybody who's an entrepreneur, and particularly successful entrepreneurs, know it is super hard work. It takes time. There will be setbacks. There will be tough, but if you're willing to put in the time and the perseverance and the sweat equity, if you will, into your business, then that's there are partners like Cast Us and others that are ready and willing to work with you. And third, I hope that you'll come and take a look at Cast Us and consider us as a potential partner for your business. Because we would be, we're looking to meet entrepreneurs who are excited about what they're doing and founders who are excited about what they're doing and passionate about their products or their services. And we're excited to meet you.
Outstanding. Andy, I want to thank you for your time, for your information. That Cast Us is doing great things in the great city of Chicago. And I hope that we'll be able to continue to have conversation in the future to be able to educate our viewers, both in Chicago and across the country, just to know what's going on and what's available to grow your business, even during this COVID pandemic situation that we're currently in.
Terrific. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes.